Black History Month is an integral part of our nation's tradition, in which we continue to recognize and promote positive, impactful individuals. The Sports Shop with Reese and K-Mac, Salute to Champions, would like to recognize this individual for their contribution.
I told you, and I promised you, we were going to continue this conversation. You know, it is our 2023 Salute to Champions event is coming up here very soon, and yet another 2023 Salute to Champions recipient is joining us in studio for a fantastic interview, and I don't even waste any more time. I want to welcome to the show Dr. Dumas Alexander Harshaw Jr.
Well, thanks so much.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the show. How you doing this morning?
Well, I'm doing
Should I say
great.
Pastor?
Yeah, you can say pastor.
Okay, I'm going to say pastor.
Be a pastor.
Let me sit up straight. Hold on. Let me sit up straight.
It's a way of life.
Yeah, let me sit up straight.
Yeah, so I expect to be a pastor.
Outstanding. We're going to get into your background. We're going to get into that in just a minute. But I want to start by just asking you a question. You know, you've been here in Raleigh. You came to Raleigh 20 plus years ago. Yes. And you know, being here serving the community in so many capacities, in so many places, being part of the signature MLK breakfast that goes on here each and every year. Yeah. But the question I want to ask is, when you made the journey here to Raleigh to pastor, what was your vision? What was your idea coming here, and what surprised you about Raleigh when you first got here?
Yeah, right. Well, I had a friend in Philadelphia who I worked with, a colleague who was a graduate of Howard University Divinity School, a school of religion, and he was made aware that I was searching for a church position. And so what he would do is research churches and then, make a selection as what he think would be a good church to consider. And so he used to give me a stack of openings. And then this one time he only had one. He said, I only got this one, but I understand it's a good church. And so that was an invitation to apply for the church. I wanted to get back to pastoring. I loved the position there, but I was traveling to Africa, Europe, and the Middle East, and I was having children. And so I didn't sign up to be a father to be all over the world, even though it was a great position. And so I wanted to get back to the church, but also just the hands-on ministry and to be engaged in walking with people in the midst of their lives. And so I had never lived in North Carolina. I've had family heritage in North Carolina, but it was my first time to Raleigh. And we were certainly impressed with the hospitality and the Southern culture, which was so strong and much different from Southern California.
Yeah.
And, I certainly love L.A. and love California, but it really was a wonderful entree into a very strong culture, but also a very good education system at that time for our children, because it represented for the nation what integration can look like. That may not be true today.
Right.
Man, as always, we are extremely happy to have individuals who have achieved significantly in their area and, of course, encourage others to do the same. And we're so happy to have Dr. Dumas A. Harshaw Jr. with us. This guy has been adjunct professor for a plethora of universities throughout. We're talking about Shaw, Divinity School. We're talking about Campbell University, Duke University. I mean, the list goes on, several in California. I want to go back to California because I remember we had the pleasure of talking to you before.
Yes.
I think from a just community aspect, you was really involved in a lot of community-related things in California.
Yes,
Talk about that piece.
Yeah. When I was in California, I was pastor at Trinity Baptist Church, and of course, before pastoring, I was also a chaplain in juvenile hall and in adult facilities there. But always been involved in the community because I kind of was birthed by the community and always engaged even before I became a Christian. And so certainly wanted to have one foot in the church and one foot in the community, because I think that represents holistic gospel and what ministry is all about for me. And so doing the riots and the uprisings of Rodney King. I mean, I was right in the midst of it all with the other pastoral leaders who were trying to do something about police brutality and I mean, that goes so far back. Black Lives Matter. Well, they mattered then, but that wasn't a slogan.
Yeah.
But we're fighting some heavy battles with the Los Angeles Police Department and how they were treating members of the black community and African American males in particular. But it was more just working with the community and dealing with the gang presence around the church and trying to make a difference.
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited to be talking to my friend today for a number of years, one of our 2023 Salute the Champions. That's a good caveat to what I wanted to talk about with you. You have a lot of work around social justice that started out in LA and here, and your commitment. We are looking at a king leader right here for sure, and your commitment to keeping the work of Dr. King alive. So can you kind of talk to some of the work that you've done here and how you've impacted the community and keeping that work alive?
Yeah, well, as soon as I hit the ground here, Mr. Bruce Lightner approached me. I think there was a change of leadership from one pastoral leader to another in terms of the Martin Luther King Celebration Committee. And so because I carried that legacy or that mantle already, I was willing certainly to get involved and be part of something that was really a great success and one of the most successful extensions of King's legacy in the country, because being in Los Angeles, we studied what was going on in Atlanta. We studied what was going on throughout the nation. And this was before you had streets named after Dr. King. You had banquets or celebrations or parades. And in Los Angeles, because we had so many people there who had worked directly with Dr. King and knew him and really knew him, knew him personally, we had one of the first banquets, for Dr. King. And so it was a joy for me to get involved, as long as we were lifting up the legacy and then lifting up the message of Dr. King, that we really all can live together. Justice is the order of the day. The beloved community is a possibility. And we need to do something to destroy hatred and violence and racism, white supremacy, and all these things that are killing us.
That's right.
Outstanding. We're talking to a 2023 Salute to Champions recipient right here on the Sports Shop. And we're talking to Pastor Dr. Dumas Harshaw Jr. And as
Dumas.
Dumas, yeah, I'm sorry.
But it's that's.
So one of the things I wanted to ask, because I love coming. Since you have such a rich history, right, and contribution leadership-wise, talk to me about bridging the gap from those historic times you just talked about to where we are now in the state of affairs, and what could we take from that era, right, to help define the vision of how we should move forward from today.
Yeah, well, the first thing we got to remember that we are evolving, that victories are being won, have been won, are being won, and shall be won. But certainly it's not enough. And when we look at the civil rights history and the success of that particular movement, you see a sense of unity around goals and values and principles that really mattered for a large group of people. Loving your neighbor and at least exploring the possibility of nonviolence, even though if you are not a nonviolent person within yourself, but when you're working for a cause, being willing to put down the weapon and then to pick up the weapon of love and dialogue and openness to quote unquote the other, and some of those we still can certainly apply to what we're going through now. We're so divided in so many ways. And when you deal with the things that are common for all of us, living together and respecting human personality and learning to be open to people who are different than we are, but also working for those systems that provide for people so that they have jobs and available housing, that they get education, and they have access to the great quote-unquote American dream, because we live in a capitalistic empire in reality, and everyone needs to participate and have and do so. The other thing is that we really need to be educated in terms of what the struggle represented, and the shoulders upon which we stand, and not to be about amnesia and forgetting where we came from. People today who are entitled think they're the first ones on the block. We created the block. The block was created for us.
We're gonna say that soundbite right there. That was incredible.
Yeah, but it's amazing how you can forget where you came from, or how people have sacrificed to allow you entree into the beautiful things that now you enjoy. And so those are some of the things. And I still think that at the notion of course, justice and peace and mercy and all these things are helpful. They have to be packaged in a different way.
Yeah.
Because we don't live in the same environment.
Sure.
You're not going to have people in churches listening to one sermonic message or one preacher preach and then go out and demonstrate. Those days are over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to happen. But with social media, with what we're doing today,
Absolutely.
and with lifting up what brings us together and allowing a variety of people to have their voice and a sense of safety, can really take us a long way. You still got to emphasize hard work. Nothing's going to be given to you.
Right.
The doors are open, but you got to knock them down also and go through them. And no one is going to give you a living. You got to go and get a living.
That's interesting.
So don't wait for like UPS for them to deliver it to your door.
You got to
get up and get involved and do something. And the hard work pays off. But also to know that we're not alone.
That's a good
cloud of
segue.
witnesses.
That's a great segue, Dr. Harshaw. Really quickly, give me a couple of names that made sure that you were not alone and help you along your journey to get you where you are right now.
Oh boy, yeah. There's so many
Yeah,
names.
real quickly. Yeah.
But my mom and my dad. But my mother in particular. But there was people like Elliot Mason, who was my predecessor at Trinity Baptist Church. There was Thomas Kilgore, who was so close to Dr. King, as Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X. People who inspired me along the way. I could just go on and on and on. Yeah.
Those are enough right there.
That's a good start.
That's enough. Well, truly, we thank you for being with us today.
That's a good start.
I'm honored to be a champion.
You are the class of 2023. Salute the champions for building community and the impact that you've made in this community and all around the country. We thank you.
I ain't had none of them names in my phone.